So this morning we got a new Ahsoka TV spot called Force. This leaked all over social media last night, and now we have the official HD version. I can't believe they dropped this. They officially confirmed Anakin is in the show in one way or another. Hayden Christensen, my favourite version of Anakin Skywalker, the definitive version in my own opinion, can be heard speaking to Ahsoka presumably in a flashback that takes place during the Clone Wars. Some fans are saying this is his Force ghost, but I don't think so. It sounds like a variation of a training sequence that is going to be in flashback form. But in either case, I do think we will see Anakin's Force ghost as well. He says, "In this war you will face more than just droids. As your master, it's my responsibility to prepare you. I won't always be there to look out for you. Don't be afraid. Trust your instincts. I know you can do this, Ahsoka." And just for the trailers, because they're not going to use real footage of Anakin from the show, they're not going to give anything away, they're using footage from the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, which makes sense to promote their other Disney Plus content as well. Now Baylan says something very interesting. He says everyone in the Jedi Order knew Anakin Skywalker, but few would live to see what he became, which means he knew that Anakin became Darth Vader. So the question is, how did Baylan know this? Did he see Ahsoka fight in the world between worlds, or is he like Jorah Sabaoth, became a dark Jedi and hid from the Empire, all the while getting intel on what was going on? As a survivor of Order 66, that would make a lot of sense. But today, as a prequel trilogy fanatic, as a massive fan of episodes 1, 2 and 3 by George Lucas, having Hayden back again is an absolute dream. And a big question I've seen going round is why aren't they using any of the animated stuff for the promos? Well, Ahsoka is in live action, so they're sticking with the same format, and more people watch the live action stuff than they do animated shows. Now with Anakin, I'm so glad he's been acknowledged in more or less every single teaser so far. We're living in the aftermath of his death. What does that mean? The Empire's fallen, the Remnant is rising, particularly in a story all about his old Padawan. I really hope we see his ghost as well. Now in other Ahsoka news, I've seen a criticism going round that some of the costumes of Ahsoka don't look, quote, lived in enough. I've seen this for Hera Syndulla, Sabine Wren. I happen to disagree. I think they've done a really good job on the costuming for this show, and we do have some new character posters for Ahsoka Tano. She's got both her lightsabers out, and in one frame of the recent trailer we can see that she's fighting Marok in the background, and she may have been disarmed because we only see one lightsaber in her hand. That takes place at the same time as the Sabine vs Shin Hati fight on Corvus. They're basically in the same place, and we do have a new poster for Sabine holding Ezra's lightsaber. But the best reveal of these new images is of Chopper. They've made him look absolutely amazing in live action, and he's already appeared in live action in Rogue One. But this image right here, as well as what we saw in the trailers, makes me think they've really stepped it up. Are we going to see this deadly astromech who has a kill count 5 times that of Ezra? Are we going to see him continue his spree in live action? I hope he helps with the fight. As Dave Filoni said back in 2014, what can you say about Chopper? He's cantankerous, he's a grumpy little astromech, but he's part of the Ghost Crew family. And again, to quote Dave, if R2 is your favourite dog, then Chopper is a cat. Full of personality though, he does things his own way. He's not going to listen to your instructions, he's going to find his own way of doing things. And now that we're moving into a new age, the New Republic, belligerent as ever, he's going to be an essential part of Hera Syndulla's fight. And as we spoke about in my last video, I don't think Mon Mothma is going to listen to the real threat that is out there in the galaxy. That is going to be Hera, Sabine, Ahsoka, taking matters into their own hands, with of course Jacen Syndulla and Huyang, but more than anything, they'll also need Chopper's help. He might be feisty, but he sure is loyal. Now let's talk about the aforementioned threat. They've used this word in the summary of Ahsoka Tano, which was a 30-second short with Rosario Dawson, and a lot of fans are wondering, could this mean something beyond Grand Admiral Thrawn? He's the big bad of the Mandoverse from here on out. He is the master puppeteer of the Shadow Council, the Remnant, and on top of all of that, he's building his forces in a place called the New Beyond. But given how little we've seen him in the trailers, fans have started to think he's probably going to have much shorter screen time than we imagine. It could just be in the final episode. We're going to see symptoms of Thrawn, things he's bringing to the known universe, whether that's through fleets, through what Morgan Elsbeth's been doing, through Marok and Baylan and Shin, only to reveal himself properly at the end. But beyond that, Are they hinting at the Grysk? I've broken this question down before. Honestly, I think as far as this show goes, they might not explore that, but they might tease it for Dave's film. But Thrawn himself remains the big villain. But the reason he might have isolated himself away from the known galaxy is to prepare for the incoming threat, which could be the Grysk. Is he trying to protect himself, the Chiss, and the overall interests of his allies? In other Ahsoka news, Rosario Dawson has opened up about preparing for the show in a new excerpt by Gizmodo.com, and they are quoting the latest issue of Star Wars Insider. Again, I'm just going to go for the meat and taters, the juicy bits, and we're going to leave out all the jibber jabber. So we're now just 10 days away, and here's what Rosario Dawson says to comment on how she's feeling. Ahsoka is not some character I can just play and then dismiss when I take off the head Montrals. It's been a lifestyle shift in connecting to her and performing her. She's in me. A very similar sentiment to Anthony Daniels, who when playing C-3PO said, eventually C-3PO lives in his head. If you're connected to a character you play, and she means a lot to you, then of course this is going to happen. She goes on to say this: "It's been really powerful to have seen Ahsoka at different moments in her journey, when she's been part of a community and when she's not. She's got this commitment to look out for her friends and to look out for her family. When you saw her in The Mandalorian, Ahsoka was clearly on a mission. She'd been aware of this potential threat with Thrawn, and though it feels like that moment has passed, she's now gathered enough intel to know better. What's exciting at this moment is in the show we're catching her as they're making the transition and having to dive back into relationships and histories that she has with certain people. Things have definitely changed, a sentiment reflected in the trailer. She's going to have to meet up with Sabine again, she's reuniting with Hera, and what that means is going to be different to the last time we saw them in Rebels. The rebellion might have been successful, but there's a fracture that has kept everyone on their toes. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, that is one of the most exciting teases Rosario has given, by talking about this emerging threat, talking about Ahsoka needing to regroup with her friends, with those she's known, and they're all on different paths and at different points on their journey to when we last saw them, especially characters like Sabine and Hera Syndulla, who's much more motherly and maternal now that she has Jason. They're different people, and so is Ahsoka, but she seems to have been tracking down intel for a long time, away from the New Republic. I don't think she's told them just yet. I think she relays that on to Hera, who maybe hears about things from other members of the New Republic, and they bring that forward to the government, but they're not going to take it seriously, and so Ahsoka's going to train up Sabine, they're going to gather their forces and investigate themselves. And I love that Rosario is saying she embodies the warrior aspects of Ahsoka. When she was on set when they filmed the show, when she came home and took off those Montrals, she never stopped being Ahsoka. She's learned so much from the role, and she's saying she applies those aspects of the mindset, of the Jedi mindset, and we spoke about that as well, to everyday life. And I really love the fact that Rosario is a big fan of the Clone Wars and Rebels too, essential viewing for fully understanding Ahsoka's path so far. And so finally, my dear friends, Lucasfilm Recruiting have confirmed that ILM's new studios in Sydney and Mumbai have contributed to the visual effects of Lucasfilm's highly anticipated new series, Skeleton Crew. They added this factoid to a tweet about ILM job openings, but it doesn't relate to recruiting for the show itself. It's just saying these two ILM studios in Australia and India respectively are looking to hire, and just to let people know, they've worked on the upcoming Star Wars series. It's an incentive to be like, look at the kind of things you can work on. But who knows, maybe they do need a few people for post. In either case, it's good to see it acknowledged and good to know these other new ILM openings have worked on this series. They now have subsidiaries in San Francisco, Singapore, Vancouver, London, Sydney, and Mumbai. I'm so excited for this one, and in case you missed it, the other day we did have an update. It was removed from the Disney releases of upcoming shows, but it still is in the cards, probably in 2024. But share your thoughts on this and everything we spoke about in the comments down below. How are you feeling about Ahsoka with just 10 days to go? A 2-episode premiere, I can't wait to break it all down. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, share this video out there, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. May the Force be with you, always.